Opinions. I'm Romeo.
Hey there, I'm Brooke.
I'm Demi.
And I'm Melissa. On today's report, media mogul Kathy Hughes discusses Sunday's Urban One honors, and Ryan Cameron joins her to discuss the upcoming uncensored DMX.
We're taking an even deeper dive into the CDC's new guidelines for fully vaccinated Americans. Your unemployment benefits may be in jeopardy in 16 Republican-led states, and we have major news about the Las Vegas Strip.
Plus, news on Kobe Bryant, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the Grammys, and a member of a legendary gospel group has died.
Yes, soulmates, we have all of that and so much more. So if you're ready, it's our voice and our truth. So let's talk about it.
To me, this reeks of conflict of interest.
Do we know if he actually waved a gun? We only hear one side of the story.
This just really did make me feel good that the justice system did what they needed to do.
We're going to keep following this story, and we will have the latest for you. Thank you for joining us. Here are your headlines for the day. We're actually going to begin with the latest news regarding George Floyd's death. The trial for the 3 remaining former police officers has been pushed back until next March. Tou Thao, Thomas Lane, and Alexander Kung were set to stand trial this August, but Hennepin County District Judge Peter Cahill has ruled the case will be postponed. The judge wants the 3 to stand trial in federal court first. Now, all 4 officers in the case, including Derek Chauvin, have been charged with violating Floyd's civil rights. In the state trial, Thao, Lane, and Kung face charges of aiding and abetting murder and manslaughter. And of course, you'll remember Chauvin was just recently found guilty on all charges in his state trial, including second-degree murder. So, as I said there, Cahill cited the need for them to face their stand trial for federal charges first. They actually, because of the charges, could face a more serious sentence in the federal trial. And so that's part of the reason. But the other part of the reason, which is something I think is not surprising to a lot of people because of how things have been handled, Cahill cited the likely publicity around Derek Chauvin's sentencing as a reason for the delay. And, you can almost not, I don't want to say, because I don't want to push, want it to sound like I'm pushing my opinion on this, but I think from a lot of legal experts saying that that's not shocking at all. The judge, if the judge has a focus on a fair trial, there's been a big look at what happened after the civil settlement was announced, right? What happened? And so I'm not surprised by this.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised by it as well. At the end of the day, look, we all want to get to this so that the family can really start healing because they have to relive it over and over again. So now it's going to happen well into 2022. However, do you feel, and I'll ask you guys, as the results come out from the federal trial, that would it affect the actual trial following that?
Yes, I think it's likely that if they are found guilty and sentenced in federal trial, that we won't see a state trial. Because to a certain extent, it doesn't make any sense to waste taxpayers' money if they're already going to spend a certain amount of time in jail.
Agreed.
In prison, I mean.
Yeah. Same. Well, not to say that I'm on their side or anything like that, but I definitely think that it's smarter for, this was a unanimous vote here. Everyone on the jury felt exactly the same way. So I could understand if I were in their shoes, if I were to be their lawyer, I would definitely do the same thing and try to distance myself from it a little bit because I think, as one rapper once said, the block is hot right now. So it's not a good time right now. So I think it would be in their best interest to move it back. Yeah.
Okay, well, President Biden, Vice President Kamala Harris, and a collection of senators removed their masks during a meeting to celebrate the new CDC guidance stating those fully vaccinated against the coronavirus don't need to wear masks or social distance indoors or outdoors in most situations. Following the Thursday announcement, the White House worked indoors without masks for the first time since Biden entered office, and an email from the White House Correspondents Association stated reporters no longer need to wear masks at the White House if they're fully vaccinated. According to CDC Director Rochelle Walensky, the new guidance, which comes over a year following the initiations of most mask mandates, is the product of a drop in COVID-19 cases, vaccine availability, and data reflecting the effectiveness of the vaccines. Now, people who are vaccinated, you still have to wear masks on public transportation, buses, trains, planes, and that sort of thing. But the CDC has been really abrupt with their changes. There has been, I expected their, changes to be, gradual, but they went from, being extremely rigid to, okay, masks off, it's a party, and we're good as long as you're vaccinated. It's been really strange, to watch how they've eased up on the guidelines so dramatically.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of people online are saying the exact same thing that you're saying, Melissa, that it was kind of just like, whoa, like, okay, what happened? That was pretty quick. But LA County, however, they're not easing up just that easy. Even though they say they understand, what Biden says, LA County is still saying that they're going to have a meeting on May 20th to discuss the possible adjustments to workplace masking requirements. So they're still trying to baby step this thing in LA County. Also, I just wanted to read a couple of certain locations and stores that you might frequent. So Trader Joe's, they dropped their mask mandate fully for vaccinated shoppers as well. But CVS, Walgreens, and Macy's, they all say that they're still going to review this. Kroger, they operate Food for Less. Ralph's, they still said that they're going to require everyone in their stores to wear a mask. Home Depot and Starbucks said that they're still going to keep the policy. So there are still some stores that are requiring you to still wear a mask, even though this, a blanket statement that Biden says that you don't have to wear a mask if you're vaccinated.
Right.
Some stores are still requiring you to wear a mask.
But with Trader Joe's saying you don't have to wear your mask as long as you're vaccinated, I mean, where's the proof? Are you walking around with a vaccination card? I just don't think so.
The CDC is essentially saying it doesn't matter. They are saying point
crazy.
Blank that for vaccinated people, the risk of catching COVID-19 is, I think Rochelle Walensky's words were extraordinarily low. Mm-hmm. The risk remains the same for unvaccinated people.
Correct.
But as of right now, you are able to get vaccinated if you are 12 years old or older. And so the CDC is saying there is a way for you to change your risk level, get vaccinated. And I think that's a big part of this. A lot of people were asking that. Well, how do you know? They're saying it doesn't matter.
That's real.
Get vaccinated.
Yeah, and real quick, we talked about it a little bit yesterday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Went to the gas station as soon as I left the show yesterday. No one was in there but me and one other guy that walked in without a mask. And the guy said, I need you to put your mask on. He's like, I've been vaccinated, and I only have my mask in my car because that's how he's feeling already. So it's still going to be a problem. Check your city and state. Check the rules and regulations at the stores.
And the reality of the situation is, I know we have to move on, but, states are offering, a $1 million lottery to encourage people to get vaccinated. So the vaccination rollout has definitely slowed down, with people who have an anti-vax mentality not willing to do so. So again, how do you prove that you have been vaccinated, or you're just somebody who just does not want to get the vaccination and you are over the masks? It's just weird. Yeah.
Yeah, I keep my card handy in my wallet. So moving right along, guys, at least 16 states with all Republican governors are set to stop participating in the federal government's Supplement Unemployment Benefits program, which provides an extra $300 a week to the jobless. Many Republican officials are claiming the payments de-incentivize workers to get back on the job. Missouri, Iowa, and Mississippi all plan to drop benefits on June 12th, which is the earliest date states are allowed to leave the program. Alabama, Idaho, North Dakota, and Wyoming are all planning to opt out on June 19th, while Ohio, Georgia, Utah, Arkansas, and South Dakota will stop payments on June 26th. Montana Governor Greg Gianforte said he would withdraw the state from the program by June 27th. He also claims Montana was being plagued by a labor shortage. Montana will also instead offer a one-time $1,200 bonus for returning to work, Gianforte said. We say this a lot on the show here, and we can just keep on saying it and drilling it into the minds of our soulmates here. If you pay people a living wage, the HR office will be overwhelmed with applications like it was pre-pandemic. I did the math here. You guys know I was laid off from March to December of 2020. So, unemployment by itself was just kind of like better than having no job. But once they started giving you $600 a week, once they added, whatever you're getting, $200 plus $600 a week, so you're making $800 a week, right? You do the math and you're sitting at home versus someone who's making $10 to $12 an hour, 4 to 6 hour shift, 4 days a week. Do the math. Who wouldn't want to make $4,000 sitting at home? You know what I mean? Versus, so yeah, I can understand. I mean, I was at home and I was inside of my house. I didn't have any problems being unemployed at the time. You know what I mean? Like, who wouldn't?
Yeah.
But that's how it should be in a country that is as developed as the United States of America. When people lose their jobs, we should find ways to take care of them so they don't lose their entire lives. I like that. What's been so frustrating watching how, people are talking about people on unemployment is that they're being talked about as if they're scammers for wanting to be able to pay their rent and eat. But look at the difference between how much Jeff Bezos makes and his lowest paid Amazon employees and how hard they work physically. Why is the discussion never about that disparity? Why is the discussion about poor people needing to be grateful? You know what I mean? Get off your bums. It's like, come on. Or maybe share your wealth a little bit.
No, listen, I like being transparent about it. I honestly had less stress when I was at home on unemployment because I knew how much money, I knew all of my bills taken care of versus, some people that come back to work, you got to worry about hours. You have to worry about demand.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you work a job where it's based on how many people come in, how much sales, that's a lot of stress versus how much you're going to get and that all your bills are going to be paid. You don't have to drive anywhere. There's no gas. I can understand why some people want to stay at home.
All right, well, we got to move on now, so let's get to it. You've been trying to get to Las Vegas? Well, maybe you have, because gambling giants MGM Resorts International and Caesars Entertainment said they are opening their Las Vegas Strip gambling floors at 100% capacity with no person-to-person distancing requirement after state regulatory approval. Now, 3-foot distancing and 80% occupancy restrictions remain at restaurants, swimming pools, and other non-gambling areas, but MGM Resorts officials said masks are still required. Other Las Vegas casinos opened at 100%, including Wynn Las Vegas, Encore, the Cosmopolitan of Las Vegas, and the resort now known as the Strat. At the end of the day, we're talking about a business that lost billions of dollars, and they're excited to open back up. I say play at your own risk. Pun intended when I say that, because a lot of people are looking to get away. You can get some cheap flights to Vegas. A lot of the hotels are still kind of cheap, so it's a great getaway, and you can finally maybe say wild out and have a little good time, because even some of the clubs are open there as well, some of the day parties and the pool parties. So still think it's a little too soon to have all that, but it's a city that's been hurting financially, and they're excited to reopen. So
Melissa's shaking her head.
Because it just sounds gross, honestly. And what amazes me about this country, about the U.S., is how every state seems to operate like an island in and of themselves, like their own country. And so the rules change depending on which state you're in. And it's like we just discussed, the CDC guidelines, and and now in Vegas is just like, screw it. We wide open, no social distancing whatsoever, vaccinated or not. And I'm just like, no, thank you.
I mean, the thing is that how can we judge Vegas, which is like a second home to me, that I really don't feel like closed all that much. But Atlanta has been wide open for a very long time. Houston and Texas, you have a lot of places around the world, other states and cities that have been wide open and living their very best lives.
Yeah, but a lot of people go to Vegas, then go back home. That's even bigger.
I don't know. Vegas did close, but I just can't. Like I said, it's like a second home to me. So I feel like let them open. Like you said, travel, gamble at your own risk. But like Atlanta and Houston, how can we say that when they've been Chicago, my city of Chicago has been wide open for a very long time, and people travel to those cities and come back home as well. So.
I guess it's just because of the kind of the reputation that Vegas has. You know what I'm saying? People go there to get their party on.
I mean, you can get COVID quicker by being at the strip club in Atlanta and Houston.
No argument.
Before sitting at a gambling machine. I can't think of the name of it right now. Slot machine. A slot machine with plexiglass.
Yeah,
in
but you
between.
got to fly there. You got to eat there.
It's a big problem. You have to fly to Atlanta.
No argument for me.
This is not where I felt like we were going to have the most passionate debate on the show today, but that was
trying to
fun
defend
to
a
watch.
city that everyone wants to go to and have fun.
Everyone wants to go to Atlanta and Houston. We can just go back and forth.
All right.